Hi, Issei again here. This is going to be the part 2 of the lesson 1. I didn't realize how much it would take. I thought I was going to spend only like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, but it ended up much longer, so I apologize for that. And normally though, within one hour lesson, I explained this the part 1 of lesson 1, which is I explained auxiliary verb and demonstrative pronouns. I usually teach them together in the same lesson. So I suppose one of the faults that I seem to have is that I tend to keep speaking until somebody stops me. So when you're taking a lesson with me, you have an ample opportunity to tell me to shut up. So just I'm just because I don't know who is watching this, and I wanted this to be kind of I suppose a portfolio or a demonstration of the lesson that I usually offer, and I'm trying to explain from the very beginner's perspective. And as such, the first video ended up like more like kind of structurally oriented sort of a theory of Japanese language rather than a grammatical explanation. And I fear that if you let me speak by myself, it's going to be that way. So which I think many people will appreciate, because these are not concepts usually explained in the textbooks. So I think it's for the absolute beginners, these concepts, me explaining, elaborating like every bits of conceptual sort of a foundation is, I think, quite helpful. But for someone who understands Japanese fairly well, it's this kind of a series that I'm planning to make for some time at least is going to be quite dull, or maybe too much of an explanation. But once again, these are not something explained in the textbooks or things that get asked in classrooms often. So I'm going to sort of start. I will keep explaining, elucidating the concepts, but I will also try to be more concise from now on. And so this video is a part 2 of the lesson 1, the demonstrative pronoun. But before we move on, I just want to make a correction with the last video that I made. I referenced when I was talking about no particle. See, watashi no namae, right? My name, basically my name. No connecting as a possessive. This one, when I was talking about this, because no shows the relationship between two nouns or more nouns, and the latter, the noun, is the specific it is, right? So this is a noun 1, noun 2, and noun 2 belongs to the larger concept of I or I-ness, right? And when I was talking about that, I referenced to the movie Spirited Away, because it's a movie about a girl whose first name was taken away by a witch, and yet she still exists, right? And she still exists only as a kind of partial potential sort of being, in my interpretation of that film. And so she is searching for her identity, which is her name, that was taken away. So difference between the no particle, the usage of no particle is that it's a possessive but without ownership. So it does not own. It doesn't really show permanent ownership, but it just shows you a permanent, temporary possession. And so for that, that movie, referencing to that movie was very helpful because it's exactly what's happening. So Chihiro is the name of the girl, and her name is stolen, right? And so my name, which is like this is with no particle, it's my, and namae is a name. So together it forms the same kind of phrase as my name. But once you take no out, then there is no connection between them. It can be it's the connection or relationship is severed here, in which case there's no namae. You know this namae is a name, but what name are you talking about? We don't know, and it's only the evil witch that stole the name knows whose name this belongs to. But since the belonging is not expressed here, which is why that movie was a good way to refer. But when I said refer to that movie, I said these two names are separated away, which is correct. But I said also spirited away, which is not correct, which doesn't mean it's not the same meaning, right? I just wanted to say split up. Those words are split up and or separated away or out, right? And normally I mean this is normally this doesn't happen. I mean sometimes when I try new things, sometimes it happens, and this is when I'm talking to a person or student. They usually correct me, or maybe I guess I'm more careful about it. But earlier when I was making the first batch of this clip, I was basically it's basically I guess I was kind of like trying to make a connection, and then messed up this part. So just wanted to make a correction. I mean it's Spirited Away. The movie, the girl's name is separated out or split up, but and so it's a sort of a good way to recap for what no particle does and how no particle behaves. So this just wanted to start with a correction of the mistake I made, because I in that clip I had one goal. So once I make a mistake, I can't really within that video I can make a revision statement. But I noticed the difference. I noticed that I was messed up later, so I couldn't, and I apologize for any confusions. And so I will try to be more concise, because last time I didn't think it was going to be that long, and I think it's really important to be spelled out or explained the theory or concepts involving all these fundamental issues when learning a new language. it is at the same time it can get prolonged, and then you might feel bored. So that's not something I want you to do. And I normally do the lesson one part. It's divided in part one and part two because simply because the last clip just became too long. Normally I use within the 1 hour lesson I usually explain the auxiliary verb to be and then demonstrative pronoun. That's what happens within an hour with interaction with students as well. So yeah, I mean, I have a tendency to keep talking when nobody stops me. So that's what happened, and I try to be careful, mindful of that. So this time, so recap. That's basically what I kind of wanted to say. Recap about no particle, the wa and ga and ka, the question marker, subject topic marker. Those were probably self-explanatory, and it was not that confusing. But no particle plays a role here as well, as you can see in these demonstrative pronouns, which are called koso ado phrase in Japanese. And so yeah, I say it's part two because it's an auxiliary verb. We are still dealing with an auxiliary verb, the verb to be, rather than action verbs. So normally, once again, I usually finish explaining those two words, the verb to be and demonstrative pronouns within 1 hour, one lesson. So which is why it's called lesson one, and normally there won't be a part two. It's just included. But anyway, now we are kind of moving on to a bit the next step into grammar, and that is a demonstrative pronouns, as it says here. Things like this or that, over there, and those things are demonstrative pronouns. And it's fairly simple once you get the gist of it, but it's just it can be confusing for people who are not used to using Japanese or hearing Japanese. So I need to sort of explain that. But like I said, there are two important things in Japanese. One is that the verb comes at the very end, and the next second is that to understand the functions of the particle, and each particle does serve a specific concept. So let's move on. So yeah, basically we're gonna learn how to say this and in different ways. And this I guess I should start from the Japanese. Kore, right? This time I'm just writing English phonetics here. Kore means this, and simply the verb, this is, or I'm not dealing here with plurals. So if you have any questions with plurals, I'm happy to respond. But I'm just kind of laying out the basics. And so kore, this, so kore is the simplest one, and this is, right? And it's followed by the verb, and you can just it's simply this. But what becomes a little bit confusing is this kono. So once you have no here, as we explained earlier, and in the earlier the video as well, no particle is essentially what it does is to connect two nouns, right? The relationship, not connect as in like a and B and C, but it shows a relationship of several nouns, right? And here as well, once you have this kono, it's no longer just this, but this plus noun comes up. And because no, right after no, you're supposed to expect a noun. And on this demonstrative pronoun, let me just explain in this way. So here, this ko here, ko, yeah, can you see? Yes. So ko here is indicative. It just means here-ness, or as again, my philosophical background kind of inclines me to explain this way, but ko is by itself, it doesn't really mean, it means conceptually something closer to me or to where I am. But it does not substantially mean that yet. It's just a kind of a forming status, right? So once in this case, once you have kore, then it becomes substantiated in the, and it sort of materializes in the form of the word this. So that kind of this entire thing, kore, it's equivalent to this. But once you have kono, then ko is a here-ness, basically, and it doesn't, again, it's still in its potential form, and it's not substantiated yet. So you need to sort of have some kind of a next letter that gives it its substance, basically. And re does give its substance by itself, and then it makes it its actualized format. But with kono, because of no particle, again, like here-ness, this is a noun, right? So this noun plus no plus noun. So here kono simply refers to the noun plus no plus noun. So noun 2, this is a noun 2, noun 1, and the noun 2 that belongs to here-ness, which means literally this book or this something. So this plus noun is explained in that way. And so what students need to be careful is that you cannot really say, oftentimes students get confused and they tend to use kore. They kind of conflate or mix them up. And when you want to say this book, instead of saying kono, because it's a noun, right? Kono hon or kono neko, this cat, is mine. Watashi no desu. Instead of saying that, they tend to use this kore hon or kono kore neko, even though after re there is nothing that you cannot have a noun. And no is the kind of no is what connects two nouns and shows a relationship between them. So ko is here-ness and no is a sense of belonging. The second noun belongs to the here-ness. And once you have a noun here, for the first time it becomes substantiated, and it can express a clear concept, like say like a cat will be neko is a cat, well actually where should I? Okay, I'm gonna just write it here. Neko. And kono neko, right? So this plus noun is usually once no is when no is used, this plus noun comes up, and the students are often confused with kore and kono. So I mean, in the very beginning, it's a once you start doing problems like exercise, it's not these are fairly simple words and you will understand them. But in the very beginning, it's confusing to say the least. To the between the two, which one comes which, and kore, right after kore, the verb is followed, and right after no, a noun is followed, just as we explained in the no particle. And here the same, and then the third one, ko, again here-ness, right? And then another ko, and ko, here-ness and here-ness stuck together, and it kind of expresses a physical location of here, and but if it's just ko by itself, it remains to be a conceptual place, or potential place of the potential place of here-ness, right? So we need to make it substantiated and actualize its potentiality, right? So ko and ko makes it here and koko, and once you understand this formula, it's very simple for the rest of it. The same thing applies there. That is sore. So kore is used for things that are close to the speaker. So say like I don't have a book. Let's see. Kore wa hon desu. This is a book, right? And so in this case, I'm saying kore because I'm pointing at that whatever is closest to me, and then saying is a book. But if I want to say this book is mine, I'm saying that this book is already a possessive, right? This here-ness possesses this book and is mine. So この本は it's a subject. この 本 and then the subject marker or topic marker comes here, and 私のです because again every Japanese sentence has to end with a verb, and here you can see the hon belongs to the here-ness, so you cannot have that with kore because re does not express a relationship between two nouns. And now この本, so whatever as I said earlier in the video, この本 whatever is closest to the subject topic marker is a noun. So this is the essential noun. The book is mine is what it says. But what kind of book? Well, this kind of book. This book that is closest to the speaker, which is myself. And now you can see here watashi is again I-ness. Oh, sorry, watashi. I the concept of I, so I-ness. But we have to have some kind of particle right after the noun. So watashi no, this possessive makes it in English equivalent to mine. And so now here, this is the verb, and you might wonder, okay, so you grant that this is a noun, but then noun doesn't come up here. To which it's actually the structure is similar to English. You could of course say 私の本です. Meaning if you want to say this book is my book. But if you want to say mine, as in sort of omitting the noun, right? As is often the case in English, you could do the same thing in Japanese, but you have to leave the no particle here, the possessive, because otherwise it just means the concept of I, and this book is I would be, you're saying this book is I. So it's important to put no possessive, and you can omit the second noun if you want to just say like kind of omit, as in English, mine, and then you end the sentence with this. So this structure follows through. So according to this, let's see how this goes. So this is the subject and this is the verb, and then it's a complement, right? Elaborating like this. So here the subject is kore, because there's no noun here. I don't know, like noun here. See, there's no noun here. If there's a noun, then you need to use kono, but there's no noun. The verb is directly followed by this, the subject. So you use kore, and to mark the subject, you use subject topic marker, a subject marker, and kore wa. And now what you need to say is my cat, and my is where I-ness, watashi plus no, showing possessive, and neko. And これは私の猫. This relationship needs to be kind of ingrained when you're dealing with Japanese. And by ending is the copula or the linking verb, as I earlier said. So here you end the sentence with a verb, of course, and that's basically it. And the same thing applies with that. Sore. Sore is whatever is the closest to the listener or the person you're talking to, as opposed to kore, which shows here-ness. Whatever is closest to the speaker, right? And the same thing happens. Sore is that, the same thing. This is and that is. It's just a physical location, the difference of physical location. And sore and sono, soko as well. So by itself does not by itself expresses thatness or theirness, but it's in order for it to kind of become an actual concept of physical place, you need to put ko, the here-ness or just the place-ness in this case. So ko will make it there, and that means a place that is closer to the speaker. Oh no, sorry, the place that is closer to the listener. And the same thing applies here. Are is that over there-ness, essentially, where is sort of, that over there-ness. And are is something further away from both of us, both the speaker and the listener. And no is that plus noun. This one is fairly often it's just confusing. It gets many students often tends to forget to put this here now, because that over there is a little bit, you're kind of injecting a noun inside a fixed phrase like that over there. So make sure to put that. Ano neko. If I say ano neko, then this one. Sorry. See that plus noun. So this one is not are. Are will be that followed by the verb, immediately followed by the verb. But it's not followed by the verb. There's a noun here, so you cannot say are, and you have to say no. Okay, so what this is, what kind of relationship this no is showing, where that over there-ness, and neko, the cat. So the cat that belongs to over there or further away from both of us is is basically this. But now the subject is set, so you need subject marker wa, and then mine, as I said, watashi, and then try not to forget no particle here to mark a possessive possession, and then you end with this. So I just the verb here, the subject is essentially this, but the cat is the subject. But what kind of cat? Well, modifying, further elaboration is attached, and that over there, the cat that exists over there or further away from both of us. So that's how, it's fairly simple once you get the difference between kore and kono. And koko is just a location. Soko is again location there. Asoko here, normally you might want to just say ako, but for some reason we just use we put we kind of add onto soko, meaning over there, or that over there, I guess. So like over there, there's a mountain over there, sort of physical location further away from both of us. And let's see. Okay, now is there anything I'm forgetting? No. I think it's fine. Okay, so now we're moving on to do. So remember we had I erased it earlier, but ko, so do phrase. So this one is basically a demonstrative pronoun. Phrase here in Japanese is kotoba. So koso ado kotoba is something we learn in the very beginning of junior high school. I mean, of course, from elementary school too, but in recap, from junior high school we start from there. And so you now know ko, it means here-ness, and so is there-ness, and is that over there-ness, which is weird, I know. I mean, philosophically it makes sense, but it might not be a familiar term. So here now what is left is do. Do makes basically awareness, not where though. Again, you need ko, like here. You need ko to substantiate a place. So Doko, as in here, Doko means where, but you need ko to make it where. Now, what is left is this is awareness or whichness. Now, this one is somewhat a little bit different from the other three, in that dore means which, and which is it's an interrogative pronoun that can be served as a subject. So once it's it's dore ga suppose, okay, let's see, yeah, I guess I start with dono. Dono is much, it probably makes sense more. So dono similar with others. No shows the relationship between two nouns. So you need some kind of a noun here, as in here. So which plus noun, and then together with the noun makes this a subject. So if I want to say which book is mine, instead of saying dore hon, because dore cannot take a noun, and dono is the one that only that takes noun. So we need to say see which book dono hon. Hon is a book, and sorry, do so hon that belongs to the larger concept of which awareness, basically the physical location, involving physical location. And now normally, because it's because after this because this is a subject, right? We need to mark it as a subject marker, subject as a, and so we have to use a wa. But in case of do serving as a subject, in this case you're actually asking what which one is my book. You want to emphasize what is which one is mine. Basically, you don't really know. You want to know the answer to the question. So emphatic marker is used as a subject. Here, subject particle ga. So instead of wa, whenever you use do or anything that any questions are demonstrative pronouns, interrogative pronouns that can be served as a subject and is served as a subject. After that, it has to be the subject marker has to take ga as opposed to wa, and because you want to emphasize, right? So dono hon ga watashi, again, no, do not forget this, otherwise you're saying which book is I or me, right? So this, and then you put ka, can you, yeah, I'm going to use question mark here, but so again I'm omitting here that it's supposed to be a hon, a book, but because it's a mine, if it's a my book, then you have to say watashi no hon but because I'm using mine here, I'm omitting a book part, and it becomes watashi plus no particle. And it at the very end, you have the des, the verb, followed by the question marker ka. And so this is basically the basic concept. And same thing, dore is which without a noun. So in English, so it's usually like which one is mine, and normally a noun is kind of implied here. So, but in Japanese, dore ga watashi no desu ka would be which is mine. So which one is mine would be more proper English. But in Japanese, we don't just we kind of we according to, I mean, it's kind of like in following the pattern from ko. So dore just does not take noun here, and do no is a noun. So most likely, if you are using the question with it involving which, you will be using do no in Japanese too, because you want to probably specifically which book is mine, which glass is mine, or which cat is mine, and so on. So rather than just which is mine, which is very vague question in English. Whereas in Japanese, you can sort of just see like which one, basically which one, like which is among some options, which one should I take, the menu, looking at the menu of the restaurant, which one should I take, the one is omitted here. So normally don't know like menu, the noun, right? So normally you would use this more often than this dore in in Japanese, or I mean when you are directly translating from English. Now what is left is doko, and this doko is something again a little bit different from dore or dono. Whereas dore and dono served as a whichness or which, doko does not mean which. It means following a pattern, the physical location, here, there, over there, and this becomes where. And now, when you want to use this doko, as you might, I guess I will write it much larger now. Where is your school? Right? Here, I guess it's not that much larger, but this is the verb, and where cannot be a subject. So that becomes a problem. Dore and dono served as a subject, which is why we could use ga. You wanted to know which one is yours or mine, and we could use ga here as a particle, but where cannot be a subject. It's a it's an adverbial integrative pronoun. So the subject necessarily becomes here. It's in the predicate rather, and so you start translating from here. Because subject doko, where cannot be a subject. In English, the same way. It's where cannot be a subject. So starting from the subject, subject is your school, right? You is nata, and school is gakou. and here if I write the phonetics anata and gakkou. This one, when you have a double vowel in Japanese, it's usually we don't pronounce u, enunciate u. We tend to kind of mix them up, and it makes the elongated sound of o, like the last one that follows. So gakkou rather than gakkou, which I mean people would understand it, but it sounds awkward. So anata gakkou, right? This one, both of them are noun, so we need to basically make sense out of this. Your school, this shows a possession, so we need to put no, and anata no gakkou would make it means your school, and that's a subject. And then earlier we did use ga because which served as a subject, but this time we cannot use ga because where is not a subject. So just we can just follow the regular pattern of the sentence. Gakkou wa neutral, very neutral. Wa is sort of used for factual statement without subject emotion involved. So as opposed to ga is emphatic and there's a subject emotion or interjection kind of are implied. So wa is more factive and neutral as opposed to ga because it's primarily, again, it's a topic marker, right? So anata no gakkou wa, and now you need to just insert where, which is Doko, and then but Doko is not a verb either, and in every Japanese sentence we have to end a sentence with a verb. So Doko desu, and then because it's a question, you need to mark it as a question, and then Doko becomes ka, you are ka, and Doko desu ka. So this Doko is, again, this one is inserted in between the subject and the verb. So that's basically what demonstrative pronoun is, and I need to explain what I didn't earlier in my earlier video, which is the negation of this format. So I'm going to just erase here this I guess I suppose I could erase this much. Okay. Now, so if we can leave this little along as I write, that is helpful. And see here, wa is, so first identify the subject. Whatever comes before wa is a subject. So I mean together this becomes a subject, and then this verb here. Identify the verb, end of the sentence. This is the complement. Again, gakusei means student. So I am a student. Starting, this is the very first sentence we began with, right? Now, if you want to say I am not a student, we only have to change all the conjugation happens at the very end, the verb. So the verb becomes very important. which is why Japanese, I don't know, this is one of the difficulties for English speakers, because the verb comes at the very end, so as negation or question markers as well. Like until you hear the entire sentence, up to ka, you cannot guess if I'm talking about a question, or if I'm just saying your school is not good, right? Just making a statement or something. So but that is again, it becomes a second nature as you move along, and so I wouldn't worry about it. You can just follow kind of basically, following this pattern, the structure, and then it starts to, and then you start to pronounce each sentence as you do exercises or by interaction with the teacher and or other Japanese people, and you start to get it becomes a second nature quite easily. So you don't really need to worry much about that. Here I'm gonna just erase this here. So now this is what should I use? Okay, yeah, this is basically is or the verb to be, right? Here this I'm saying is because the subject is I, but it could be or it depends. We don't make any difference. I mean, yeah, we will have to kind of delve into. It's just a matter of vocab. So we know I and you, but he and she has other pronouns, and we need to memorize that. But that's what I usually include in the handout as well. So, and most people probably know that. You can just type, and Google Translate does that fairly well and without failing to convey the meaning, because you just type in he and she and they, and they just give you exactly what Japanese word for that is. But so if you want to negate it, so I suppose, negation here, you only have to change the very end des into de wa arimasen. So here the pronunciation is de wa arimasen, and this is pronounced as wa because it's a particle, and it's up to here is a topic, basically a topic, which we are treating it as a topic. So watashi wa gakusei de, again, as here you can kind of think of this similarly with other sentences like dore, until you have re, which is not substantiated, and which kind of remains like sorry, this is probably not, I don't know, I'm trying to write it in points, but which is kind of which only exists as a whichness and as a concept, and once you have re at the very end, it makes it manifest, and it makes it apparent that it becomes which. Similarly here, until you have the desu at the very end, your the sentence is not over yet. So once you change here, this su does kind of does the work to substantiate or actualize the entire sentence. And once you have de wa arimasen, instead of ending with desu, desu will be the positive, and wa arimasen is basically not. I know it's unnecessarily long. Yeah, it's weird. But this one, de wa arimasen is a fixed phrase, so you can just memorize that. It's just long unnecessarily. And I cannot really explain why. It has to do with philology or some sort of a linguistic explanation. There may be, but I doubt there is. But so that's I am not. And if you want to say I was not, the past tense, then oh, sorry. If you want to say I was a student, past tense, positive, right? Then this changes into でした. So this one is fairly simple enough. Again, でした would make it I was a student. If this was a でした, then I was a student. How about the past negative? I was not a student. Here you need to change it into ではありません. See, it's exactly the same thing. Plus でした. So it's again, I admit it's unnecessarily long, and I guess I don't know why. I guess they run out of ideas to how to conjugate, even though we only have present and past tense. So ではありません. This is directly coming down from the positive. Sorry, not positive, negative present. And negative past is just going down. ではありません plus this past. でした. So that's the negation of this and different formations. I mean, we only have present tense and past tense. So this is it. And this is also what I might want to emphasize is this is a polite form, as I might have indicated earlier. Then in the polite plain form, it becomes da, and when you if you are watching anime a lot, then you might actually hear this plain form much more often than actual sort of a polite form, because they are talking to each other as friends. But they going into the plain form, and plain form itself is not that difficult. I mean, in the case of the auxiliary verb, but it's a whole different matter in grammatically speaking. So I will just not delve into that at this point. But in the negation, じゃなかった, you might have heard じゃなかった was not. This is a past negative in the plain form. So these ones, it's just you may not when I say です ではありませんでしたではありませんでした, it may sound unfamiliar to you, or you may be more familiar with the plain form version of that. But you can never go wrong with the polite form. It's a polite, it's not extreme polite. It's polite enough to be used anywhere, talking to your customers, or talking to your superior, talking to the seniors. It's polite enough to be used. So we usually stick with this. Especially like in the teaching phase, the fundamental part of Japanese. And Also, one thing I want to mention, dewa can be changed into ja, like ja. Instead of dewa, ja can be used. And ja is just a colloquial form of casual speech. So in speaking, it's again because it's a casual speech, the politeness just goes down. So you do want to, in a formal situation or when in doubt, you do want to use dewa arimasen, but ja arimasen is more commonly used among Japanese. It's a combination of a casual and polite form, polite ending with sort of a casualized um, um, juncture, I guess. So you could use either way, but I would suggest you to remember dewa arimasen instead of ja. Even though as you study further into Japanese, more and more sentences and exercises will use ja, but once you know that these are the same meaning, they have the same meaning, then I don't think you need to worry about it. And when you're speaking, whenever you use dewa, I mean, you don't have to be extremely casual from the very beginning. In fact, that would be a little bit weird, awkward, even though Japanese people do often use ja arimasen deshita or ja nakatta in the plain form in casual conversation, as many YouTubers point out. But it's just there's nothing wrong about speaking properly, because that's basically what eventually you would like to have a freestyle conversation and casual conversation, but it takes time, and you do need to know the foundations, fundamental foundations. You do need to know what ja, like what is ja, right? Ja comes from, it's a collapsed form of dewa, so it comes from dewa arimasen. And when you know that you can apply it in any different situations, like ja, let's eat lunch. In that situation, ja, this one is, I mean, again, I'm not saying this is I'm not saying this is completely by the rule, but ja can be used to introduce a new sentence, a new topic, or changing a topic. But it's this in many formal situations we will say dewa, let's eat lunch, let's have lunch, right? So if it's always better to know the polite form, and there's nothing wrong with you speaking politely. Nobody will laugh at you. I mean, it seems like that that many people are saying that on YouTube, but I mean, sure. I mean, they are not wrong. We do use predominantly more often than other the casual format, but what's wrong with using the polite form? Nobody will, I mean, that's the correct usage of the language, and nobody is going to laugh at you, and it just shows that you have the proper education or proper understanding of the grammar, rather than you just quote bits by bits by watching anime. So I mean, it doesn't do harm to you to use a polite language, and until you get to you get used to using Japanese, I highly encourage you to kind of stick to as much as possible the polite form. So that's it for today, and I'm sorry again it became an hour long. Yeah, but yeah, just I'm trying to cover everything slowly. And if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope to hear from you about how I'm doing in this teaching. Okay, so I will hopefully see you in the next video. じゃあまたね。